The wind came first, dragging its fingers across the plains like it was searching for something it had lost years ago. Dust lifted off the ground in thin spirals, crawling over dry grass, cracked earth, and the bones of cattle long forgotten. The frontier didn't forgive mistakes. It collected them slowly, patiently. She stood outside the shack with her hands clenched at her sides, the hem of her faded dress snapping against her ankles. Her name was Clara May Holloway, though no one had used her full name in years. Around here, names wore down just like boots. You were only worth what you could bring in, corn, cattle, or coin. Behind her, inside the shack, voices rose. Male voices, angry, desperate. "We don't got a choice," Eli Holloway snapped, slamming his fist into the warped table. "The note comes due at sundown." Her other brother, Jonah, paced the dirt floor like a caged animal. "You think I don't know that?" "The banker don't care where the money comes from. Only that it comes." Clara swallowed. She already knew what was coming. She'd known since the cattle died in last winter's storm, since the crops failed, since the men with ledgers started riding by more often than preachers. The door creaked open. Eli stepped out first, not meeting her eyes. Jonah followed, jaw tight, eyes hard like flint. "There's a buyer," Jonah said. The word hit her harder than a slap.
"A buyer,"
she repeated softly. Eli finally looked at her. His eyes carried something like shame, but not enough to stop him. "He's got land, money, needs a woman." "You mean he bought me?" Clara said. Neither brother answered. The silence stretched, filled only by the wind and the distant creak of a loose fence post. Clara felt something inside her tighten, not fear, not yet, but a cold clarity. This was how the frontier worked. Love was a luxury. Survival was law. By noon, riders began to arrive. First came Silas Greer. He rode a black horse with a heavy gait and heavier intent. Greer wore fine boots and a smile that never reached his eyes. He owned half the valley by paper and the other half by threat. Men owed him money. Women avoided him. Graves followed him like shadows. Greer dismounted slowly, looking Clara over, as if she were a piece of land he intended to fence. "She'll do," he said flatly. "I'll clear the debt." Clara felt bile rise in her throat. Before her brothers could answer, another horse approached. This one rode quieter. The man sat tall in the saddle, dust-stained coat hanging open, a Winchester resting easy against his leg. His horse was chestnut, scarred but strong, like its rider. The cowboy's eyes were sharp, steady and unlike Greer's. They actually saw her. He pulled up a few yards away. "How much?" the cowboy asked. Jonah blinked. "You looking to buy cattle, friend?" The cowboy didn't look away from Clara. "No," Greer scowled. "This don't concern you." "The Cowboy finally turned. "Everything concerns me when it's wrong." Greer laughed, low and humorless. "Wrong's expensive out here." The cowboy nodded. So is silence. Eli cleared his throat. "She's already spoken for." The cowboy reached into his saddlebag and tossed a leather pouch onto the dirt. Coins spilled out, bright and undeniable. "That's double," the cowboy said.
"And I'll add more."
The brothers stared. Greer's smile vanished. "You think money makes you brave?" The cowboy's voice stayed calm. "No, but it makes them free of you." Clara's heart pounded. No one had ever spoken for her before. Greer stepped closer, hand hovering near his gun. "You ride away with her, you won't make it past the ridge." The cowboy met his gaze. "Then you'll have to explain the bodies." The wind held its breath. Jonah grabbed the pouch. "She's yours." Just like that, the cowboy swung down from his horse and walked to Clara. He didn't touch her right away. He gave her a choice with his eyes. "You don't have to come," he said quietly. She looked at her brothers, at the shack, at the plains that had taken everything and given nothing back. "I'm ready," she said. He helped her into the saddle, climbed up behind her, and turned the horse toward the open land. As they rode, Clara didn't look back. She didn't see Greer's promise of vengeance. She didn't hear her brothers argue over the coins. All she felt was the rhythm of the horse, the strength of the man behind her, and the terrifying possibility that her life had just changed. Behind them, dust rose. Ahead of them, danger waited. The horse didn't slow until the sun dipped, low and turned the plains the color of old blood. Clara's hands were stiff from gripping the saddle horn, her body swaying with the chestnut horse's powerful stride. Behind her, the cowboy rode steady, silent, his presence solid like the land itself. Every so often she felt the shift of his weight, the subtle pressure of his knees guiding the horse. As if man and beast shared one mind, only when they reached a shallow ravine did he finally rein in. "We rest here," he said. His voice was calm, but his eyes never stopped moving. He scanned the horizon, the ridges, the low grass bending in the wind. This wasn't caution born of fear. It was habit earned the hard way. He dismounted first, then offered his hand. Clara hesitated only a second before taking it. His grip was firm but respectful. He didn't pull. He steadied. Up close she noticed the lines in his face, sun-carved, honest. A thin scar ran along his jaw, half hidden beneath dust and stubble. "What's your name?" she asked. "Luke Calder." She repeated it quietly, as if testing whether it would stay. "Why did you do it, Luke Calder?" He loosened the cinch, giving the horse water from a canteen before answering. "Because selling a woman ain't debt. It's theft." "That simple?" "No," he said. "Nothing ever is." They shared a strip of dried meat as the light faded. Coyotes called somewhere far off, their cries sharp against the stillness. Clara wrapped her arms around herself. Not from cold, but from the weight of everything she'd left behind. "You paid double," she said. "Men don't do that without reason." Luke sat on a rock, elbows on his knees. "Greer doesn't forget debts, or insults, so you bought trouble." "I was already carrying some." The words hung between them. Miles away, Silas Greer rode hard. His men followed, 3 riders with eyes like wolves and guns worn smooth from use. Greer's black horse chewed up the ground, foam flecking its mouth. The insult burned hotter than the setting sun. Not the money, the defiance. "No man steals from me," Greer snarled, "and lives quiet." By dawn, Luke and Clara were moving again. They crossed dry creek beds and narrow passes where rocks jutted like broken teeth. Luke showed her how to lean with the horse, how to read the land. He spoke little, but when he did, it mattered. By mid-morning, Clara saw it. Dust, thin, distant. "Riders," she whispered. Luke's jaw tightened. "Greer." He turned the horse toward a line of cottonwoods near a bend in the land. "If they catch us in the open, we don't last." Fear clawed at her chest. "What do we do?" Luke glanced back at her. "We stand when we must. Run when we can." They dismounted behind the trees. Luke checked his rifle, then his revolver. The quiet preparation scared her more than shouting ever could. "Luke," she said softly, "if they take me back—" "They won't." "How do you know?" "Because I won't let them." The riders appeared on the ridge, silhouettes against the sky. Greer raised a hand. The horses slowed. "You didn't have to come this far," Greer called out. "Hand her over. Walk away breathing." Luke stepped into view. "She's not property." Greer smiled thinly. "Out here everything is." The first shot cracked the air. Luke fired back, dropping one rider clean from his saddle. Chaos exploded. Gunfire, shouting, horses screaming. Clara crouched behind a tree, heart hammering, dust stinging her eyes. Luke moved like he'd done this before, too many times. He fired, rolled, reloaded, but they were outnumbered. A bullet tore through Luke's sleeve. He grunted but kept moving. "Luke!" Clara cried. "Stay down!" Greer pushed forward, rage burning through discipline. "Kill him!" Luke's rifle clicked empty. For a heartbeat, everything froze. Then Clara stood. She didn't think. She acted. She grabbed the fallen rifle beside her, braced it the way Luke had shown her, and fired. The shot went wide, but it was enough. Enough to distract. Enough for Luke to close the distance, tackle Greer from his horse and slam him into the dirt. Greer laughed even as Luke's gun pressed to his chest. "You can't kill me," he hissed. "This land won't let you." Luke stared down at him, breath heavy. "Maybe." Sirens didn't come. Justice never did. Only choices. Luke knocked Greer unconscious and mounted fast. "We go now." They rode until their lungs burned, and the land swallowed the sound of pursuit. When they finally stopped, Luke sagged, blood soaking his sleeve. Clara caught him before he fell. "You're hurt," she said, panic breaking through. He met her eyes. Still standing. She tore fabric, pressed it to the wound. Their faces were inches apart now. The air felt charged, fragile. Why risk your life for me? She asked again. Luke swallowed. Because someone once didn't. For my sister. The confession cracked something open between them. The plains stretched endless around them, danger behind, uncertainty ahead. And Greer was still alive. If this chapter pulled you deeper, make sure to like the video, comment what you think will happen next, and subscribe so you don't miss the finale. In Chapter 3, Greer returns with the law on his side. Luke's past collides with the present, and Clara must choose between freedom and love paid for in blood.